So tip number 2 for improving your hiring outcomes for 2024, push back on your hiring managers. Hi everybody, good morning. Taz here, Melius Consulting. Hope you're doing really well. Happy Wednesday. Getting through the week, and what is it today? The 10th of January already. Can you believe it? 10 days into the new year. It's gone like that, as always. I'm doing a series of videos to start off the year where I am sharing my tips on how any organization, any individual can absolutely transform their hiring outcomes for 2024. If you are looking to make a leap, not even just a step change, but a leap in the way in which you hire and the outcomes that it generates, it's always about the outcomes, right? Then here are my top 10. I think I'm going to do 10 tips for how you can really do that this year and get the year started off in a way that will just astonish yourself, your stakeholders, your candidates, your hiring managers, whoever it is, your CEO, whoever it is you work with. You can really make a quick change. Today's tip is an interesting one, I think, but it's critical. It's really critical, and that is you've got to learn how to push back on hiring managers. Now, let me quantify that. I'll put it into some context, not quantify it. Hiring managers often have a wish list of what they are looking for, right? And there's nothing wrong with having a wish list, but the wish list has to be balanced with reality. And sometimes hiring managers are not the people who need to go through this thought process as a consultant, as an advisor, as a recruitment professional, as an agency who is supporting your client. You are the people who need to be able to guide, handhold, direct, support your hiring manager to ensuring that they have the right expectations of what they should be looking for. Okay? The classic examples you see people posting about all the time on LinkedIn are things like, internship positions which require, or graduate entry-level positions which require experience and all of that sort of stuff. I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about are the more subtle requirements which somebody may think they need, but actually when evaluated and thought through, realize that it may not be quite the necessity. For example, I was talking recently to a client and they were saying that we absolutely need a degree for a certain position. And we said, why do you need a degree for that position? And through the discussion, they realized that actually they didn't. Now, they may need the type of thinking that a formal education teaches you to have or to do, but that doesn't mean it has to come in the form of a degree. It may be just the thinking that you're after. So being able to ask the right questions, it's not a confrontation. This is not a war. This is just being able to really drill down into what precisely a hiring manager needs. And to do that, you need to have a certain skill. You need to be able to look at a job description, look at a requirement, and understand how to push back on that, challenge it, and explore whether it's really needed or not, right? And this is no discredit to hiring managers. They oftentimes are very busy. They get a job description template from HR. They fill out or amend the bits. They're not sort of going into deep thought about precisely what it is they need. And oftentimes they think they need something until they're put in a position where you have a discussion, you can explore this, and you can determine whether you really need it or not. So whoever it is taking the briefing from the hiring manager, please ensure they are trained exceptionally well on how to do this properly. Because if you don't get the briefing right, the rest of your hiring process will be a mess. Okay, you're going to go backwards and forwards on finding the wrong talent. Worse, you're going to reject talent that is perfectly capable of doing the job and performing well in your organization, but you're going to reject them because of some arbitrary requirement on the job description. So learn how to push back on the job description, learn how to challenge hiring managers in the appropriate way, learn how to explore together what's really required for the role, not just in terms of an experience point of view, but in terms of skills and attitude and aptitude. All of this comes from knowing how to ask the right questions and how to ask the questions in the right way. Okay, so my tip for today, make sure whoever's taking your briefing for a position knows what they're doing, because you get this wrong, you're just chasing your tail for the rest of the hiring process. Okay, there you go. Tip for today. Hope that's been useful. More tips coming in the next 10 days. In the meantime, have a wonderful start to the day and start to the year, and good luck with your hiring. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.